Excel has released their new function, the XLOOKUP, for those subscribed to Microsoft Office 365 and those who are on the monthly channel. So you can find that under File Account. Okay, so if you're on the monthly channel, it'll be stated here. You can actually use the XLOOKUP as an alternative to the VLOOKUP or the HLOOKUP or even the index and match that most people normally use. So let's say we have the list of countries and abbreviations and their prefix. And let's say we want to find out what is the dial code of a country if, let's say, I were to enter the country name. Okay, so let's say if I were to type Malaysia, okay, then I want to display the dial code, okay, using the XLOOKUP function. So most of you will have used the VLOOKUP function before. So let's try using the XLOOKUP. So it's quite simple really. So you first have to specify your lookup value. So in this case, it's cell F2. And then you have to specify your lookup array. Where would I find Malaysia within? So I can select this list here. Okay, and then press comma, and then next is the return array. So your output would be the prefix. So I'll select from D2 to D13. Okay, now if you can end at this point unless you want to go further, but we'll just stop here. So if I press enter, then I will get plus 60. Okay, plus 60, which is the extension or prefix for Malaysia. Okay, if I change this to India, I will get 91. Okay, of course, if I enter anything that is not within the list, for example, if I were to enter Germany, then I will get an error. So if you want to display a different message when there are no value found, what we can do is after the formula, we'll just type not available. Then you can just press enter. So not available will be shown when there are no values found. Okay, so of course, if I type China again, then of course China's prefix will be shown since it's in the list. Right, so next one is, let's say if I have a prefix, okay, if I have the prefix and I want to find out what country does that prefix belong to. So in this case, I may enter things like plus 92. Okay, plus 92 for Pakistan. Okay, of course, it's a text, so you may want to, I'll just change this to a text. Okay, so it's plus 92, right? So how do we then use this list, okay, to look up on the list for column B? So again, I'll just type XLOOKUP. Okay, the lookup value is 92. The lookup array will be this list from D2 to D13. Okay, and then the return array will now be B2 to B13. And enter. Okay, it displays, it looks up, so you can actually find the list on the left hand side. So previously when we use VLOOKUP, we would not be able to do this. We will have to use maybe the index and match function. Right, let's look at the next example. So now I have a list of employees, okay, with their employee ID and employee name and the department. So say that I would like to be able to enter the employee ID in cell B3 and then subsequently display the employee name and department. So this is what you can normally do using the HLOOKUP function, but I'll just show you how you do it using the XLOOKUP function. So let's say if I enter, let's say 3426, okay, for Fraser Ryan. So what I'll do here is I'll just type XLOOKUP. Okay, the lookup value is cell B3. I'll just press F4 and lock it. Then, of course, the lookup array will be the list from B6, okay, to B15. Okay, and then I'll lock it as well. And then the return array, in this case, will be the employee name. And then we're done, okay? Right, so we have Fraser Ryan, and then I can just copy this formula to the right. Then we have the department. Okay, so I can just keep changing this. I can type 1178, and it changes to Angela Simpson. Of course, if this list doesn't change, then you can actually use the data validation function, okay, to actually select the list. Okay, and then the source here would be the list of employee ID. Alright, then you can then select the employee ID from that list. Okay, so it becomes easier and more dynamic. Okay, but of course, if the list keeps growing, then you may want to move this box to the side and then use select the whole, and here select the whole column B and column C instead. Right, so that replaces HLOOKUP. Then let's look at another example where we can actually mix rows and columns. So let's say here we have the income statement of a company for 4 quarters, quarter 1, Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. And then we have sales, cost of sales, gross profit, depreciation, interest, earnings before tax. Then we minus tax and then we get net profit. And then I'll take if I take net profit divided by sales, I'll get profit margin. Gross profit is just total sales minus cost of sales. So let's say now I would like to enter let's say quarter 2, and then I would like to be able to then extract, okay, the gross profit, the net profit, and the profit margin, and display it here, okay, based on the respective column. So in this case, for gross profit, okay, I'll find the labels from on the left hand side in column B, from B6 to B17. Okay, so in this case, I'll type XLOOKUP. My lookup value is D2, okay, which is gross profit. I'll find that within cell B6 to B17. I'll lock that. All right, and then now, okay, for your lookup array, so this is based on quarter 2, so I will need to look up again for quarter 2. Okay, let's lock that in. And then my lookup array will be from Q1 to Q4. Okay, you will find Q2 within this 4. And then I'll again lock that. Now this time my return array, okay, will be from C6, okay, to F17, okay, within this range. If you want to include total, you can do that, okay, but I'll just include Q1 to Q4. All right, so we're done. I'll lock that in, and we have everything we need. So I'll just type enter, and you'll find that the gross profit is now displayed, 42,500. I can drag this to the right. Okay, we'll get the net profit for quarter 2, and then we'll get the profit margin, 45%. I'll convert that to percentage. Okay, that's 45.19%. So that replaces index and match. There are also other parameters that you can experiment with in the XLOOKUP function. Like for example, if you continue beyond this, okay, we can, earlier on we mentioned you can actually enter a different message if the value is not found. Okay, so let's say if I'll just type not found here, just to go through. Then you can also select the match mode, whether you want 0, an exact match, or an exact match for the next smaller item, or the next larger item, or it can even be a wildcard character match. Okay, and of course, the last input can be the search mode, whether you want to search from first to last or search from last to first, or it can also be a binary search. Okay, so these are just different parameters that are optional, okay, but there is a lot of rooms for exploration.